Anyway, do you by any chance want to turn on your video if that's
Yeah,
possible? We'll
yeah,
pin that as well before starting. Yeah, sure. Just a second. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think Pulkit, you can start and then Nikunj, you can go ahead.
Okay. I am Nikunj Jindal, an associate from the Consulting and Analytics Club at Guwahati, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the today's session on building an impactful product CV, organized under the Consulting and Analytics Club IIT Guwahati. We are thrilled to have Anirudh Yadav with us. He is an accomplished professional in the field of product management. Sir is currently product manager at Microsoft, where he drives the development of innovative products that impact millions of users worldwide. He graduated from IIT Guwahati in 2017, and he is also an alumni of IIM Bangalore. So he brings a unique blend of technical expertise and business acumen. It's my pleasure to have you here today, sir. Over to you, sir.
hey, hi Nikunj, hi everyone, thanks. I was not expecting, sir. It's just been, what, 6, 7 years? Yeah, so you can call me Anirudh. Uh, but
Okay.
yeah, nice to be here. Thanks for the generous introduction. Should we start?
Yes, sir, you can start.
All right. I am not sure how the questions will flow in.
Uh,
Uh, s-
uh, at the end, we have a Q&A section where the
okay.
question will be floated in the comment section.
All right. All right. Then I'll go through the presentation. Hey, hi everyone. Thanks. So, in this session, like my goal is to go through the specifics of or the basics of crafting a product manager resume, and I will try to complete the whole slide in 30-35 minutes so that we have ample time for Q&A. Just a couple of pointers on how why it's important, because I think most of you will not be having a direct PM experience. So a well-crafted resume will definitely help you present your potential without even having the experience. And secondly, product management as a profession has is going through transition. The entire tech industry is actually going through a transition. So PM role is also changing, and it has become somewhat more competitive because of the disruptive nature. And hence there are a lot of experienced professionals out there looking for jobs. So it's become highly competitive. I was also going through the last year's list. I think there are limited positions open, so it's highly competitive, and you need a well crafted resume at least to shine through. So yeah, so in this, how do I want to structure this session is I'll first go over what does a product manager do. We'll take a brief role overview and build a rough JD. Next, we'll go over the skills that are needed to fulfill that JD, and then we can see like how you need to present those skills in a product resume. So if you look at the role overview, product managers are generally responsible to guide the entire end-to-end process. They're expected to go to the field, get customers' perspective, get their pain points, get their problems in, and build conviction about those problems and pain points within the entire organization. So let's say if you're an example, if you're a PM at Blinkit, and if you're driving the platform of Blinkit, your job is to go out there, figure out what customers want next, what are the problems they're facing while using Blinkit, come back to your organization, align everyone that, hey, this is what we need to solve, and this is the feature that we need to build. And then you need to deliver that value back to customer, and that's how your business delivers. Business gets its potential and earns. So essentially, you are bringing in customer perspective to the process. And I heard this a lot of time. A lot of people say that product managers are mini CEOs. It is very untrue. I'll say this is the biggest myth. Uh, so for being a CEO, there are two things that you need. You are responsible for everything, and you have control over everything. In for product manager, the first one is true. You are responsible for everything, but you don't have control over everything. As a PM, nobody is reporting to you. So you have to drive and you have to get those customer problems and drive that conviction through your own influence and your communication skills, your storytelling skills. You can't just tell people to build and they'll start building. In case of CEO, they will. So it's very different. Like it's not at all a mini CEO role. It is very different from that because over here you don't have control. You have to drive things with your influence and your communication skills. I hope that's clear. Let's go over a quick JD or key responsibilities that a PM needs to handle. So if we start from the top, first of all, PMs go out there, identify customer needs and business opportunities in the field. Once they have identified this customer need, what they need to do is they need to define a vision for their product, a strategy to meet that vision, and then a feature roadmap according to that strategy. So let's say for if we take example of Tesla, if Elon Musk would have started, he would have started with a vision that I want to electrify road transport. Then he would have built a strategy that first of all I'll go and target the luxury market. I'll build high value cars, and then I'll go enter slowly. I'll reduce the value of my cars as I gain scale, and that would be my strategy to fulfill the vision. Now, to fulfill that roadmap, he would have to fulfill that vision. He would have built a feature roadmap. That first, I'll build autonomous car. I'll build these batteries. I'll get a gigafactory out. So this is how granularity increases from vision to roadmap. Once you have built the roadmap according to the needs of the customer, you collaborate with various teams and drive execution of that roadmap. Once your product is out, you have delivered on the roadmap, you gather data from the field and you make data driven decisions, and then you reprioritize features. So this is essentially how the entire life cycle of a product looks, and this is what a PM is supposed to do in entire like throughout the life cycle. So depending on where your product is in the life cycle, your roles differ, but this is like a broad overview of what does a PM need to do to drive customer value and business value. Now let's quickly try to map. That was the rough JD that we created. Now let's see what are the skills a PM needs to fulfill that JD. First of all, if you're going to go out there, identify customer needs and do research, you need to be empathetic to customer. By empathetic, I mean is that you should be able to put yourself into the shoes of your customer and think from their perspective. And that's what empathy means. Like you should be able to relate to the problems of the customer, and then you should have capabilities to conduct a fair, unbiased research. There are various methods to do it. You have to categorize into groups. It should not be overlapping, and all those things you learn as you go and do research. But these are the basic, like you need to be empathetic to your customer. Once you have identified the customer's pain point, you need to be able to devise features that will solve that pain point. So you need problem solving abilities, critical thinking to come up with innovative features. So that is what is needed in the next step. Once you have those features in, you need strong communication, and you need skills to build a story around, and so that you can sell that particular feature to the entire organization. As I was earlier mentioning, you don't have control. You can't ask the engineers, hey, I think this is what will work, go work on this. Nobody's going to work on that just because you're saying it. So you have to convince people. And how do you convince people? You use data, you use real world example, you use complete research, you use all these data points, build a story out of your feature, and then communicate it across the organization. You need to convince your CEO, you need to convince your engineering manager, your design people. Everyone needs to be convinced on board to that story, so that now you can go and execute on those features. And one, like while you are, as I was saying, like even CEO would you are closer to the customer, even like as compared to a CEO. So you need to go convince them also. So you need to have certain leadership skills. So you need to build, like in a PM role, people usually say that your relationships are your currency. You need to build relationships across the organization. You need to know the engineering manager, so that you can go convince them. And convincing just doesn't happen in meeting. You'll do 10 like coffee conversations with them. You'll say that, hey, customers are saying this. What do you think? Should we build this? And then you together go and build a roadmap. So you need influencing skill, leadership skills, everything. Even while you are like delivering on those features, you need to rally the entire team around that feature. Then you also need technical awareness. You probably do not need coding skills. And in today's day and age, AI is anyway doing a lot of coding. So you don't need coding per se, but you need to understand tech so that you can make those data-driven decisions and prioritize features. You should be able to call out, like you should be able to have a discussion with an engineer on how this will be built. Like let's say if people say that you want to build a recommender system, you need to know that there are three types of recommender system. This is what it's like. This sort of data is needed to build it, and this sort of interface is needed. You need to know the front end, back end, all those terms. Maybe you don't know how to code, but you need to know the tech stack end to end. Yeah, and then time and stakeholder management is always needed because you're always under pressure to deliver more features with less time. So you need to manage expectations with the higher ups, and also manage timelines with whoever is working with you, all the engineers, all the designers. I just want to quickly cover like how, with the advent of Gen AI, how this PM role is changing. So the basics still remain the same, that you have to go out there, bring in the customer perspective into the and bake it into the product so that your product grows. But with the advent of AI, there are two big shifts that have happened. One, as of today, uh, there is no clarity within the IT world on where we will land. Right now, we are riding that hype cycle. Everyone is using AI to solve multiple use cases. Nobody knows which use case will stick with customers. So right now, if I have to put it bluntly, it's utter chaos. Nobody knows, even if like even SAM management doesn't know where, how AI will be used 5 years down the line, or what will the capabilities of AI be available 5 years down the line. So everyone is building in chaotic situation, and in this situation, as a PM, your key responsibility is that your team needs to be shielded from that chaos. You need to drive clarity on small chunks and be quick in your action. You need to build things, send it out to the market, and see for like which what all is sticking. Every big tech company, every startup, this is what they're doing as of now. They're building features around AI, and they are looking for things to stick. Like one of the features that have stuck with customers is meeting transcription. Like in Microsoft Teams right now, there is a capability of meeting transcription. Everyone is using that. Email summary might not have stuck. Not a lot of people are using it. So people are building, and you need to build and build quickly. And then you need to be open to course correct later. So this is what I would say a big shift that has happened because of the disruption of Gen AI. Now let's come to the resume, the meat of the session. It up till now it was like, what is PM role? What are the skills needed? I've gone through it very quickly because I wanted to spend a lot of time on how to build your resume. But I'll share the slide. So if anyone wants to go through the first half, please feel free. But in your resume, what are the key things? What should be the objective of your resume? So let's lay that down. First one is your resume should. So up till now we talked about a lot of PM skills: user empathy, stakeholder management, time management. what do you want to put in your resume? Your resume should be able to showcase that you have some of those skills demonstrated with you can't just say that I am very good at time management. Nobody's going to believe it. So with that, you need one instance of a situation where you demonstrated that. So your resume should have at least two or three of those skills demonstrated through whatever experience you have had up till now. Uh, you might have participated in something. So back in my college days, I was participating in SAE competitions. So maybe you have participated in SAE, demonstrated some of the skills over there. Maybe you led a particular robotic group or whatever group you were part of. So you demonstrated leadership skills. So you need to find these examples in your experience. It might not be a PM experience, but in your whatever experience you have had up till now, and relate them to one of the core PM skills and put that in your resume once and highlight that properly. We'll later discuss like how to build resume points, but the idea is that one of those or few of those skills should be there in your resume, demonstrated through something that you've done in past. Let's come to the next part. For the skills that you've not demonstrated, you need to somehow convey that you're at least aware of these skills and you're open to learning. How you can do this is, let's say, you might not have directly participated in stakeholder management, but maybe you were part of let's say mess community. That's an example I later use. You were part of or mess secretary of some hostel. So you would have dealt with your mess vendor. You would have dealt with students. So you need to demonstrate that. If you did some tech summer internship, you need to demonstrate that. So you need to, if that skill is not directly there, you need to, in your resume, it should come out that you are a good learner, a quick learner, and you are aware of these skills somehow. Third point is your resume should, so you would ideally be targeting a product management role in one of the tech companies. So you need to demonstrate through your resume that you are passionate about technology, especially with all the revolution happening in the tech world. You need to convey to the interviewer or whoever is reading your resume that you know what is happening in the tech world. You know what GPT is. You know what uh, OpenAI is doing. You know what Google is doing, and those things can come through your projects. Maybe you've done some project on an LLM, build a chatbot, or something of that sort. So you need to demonstrate that you are passionate about technology and you want to use this technology to solve real customer problems. Now, this could be very different if you are, let's say, going for a PM role in a bank. Then you need to demonstrate that you're good with finance and all. But I'm assuming that most of you will be applying in tech companies. So you need to demonstrate that passion about technology through your resume. And then the last point, but it's really important. Like your resume will be so whoever is going to interview you later. Let's say you are selected for an interview. Whoever is going to interview you later will have your resume and will read through your resume. Now, what they discuss during that interview will come from your resume. So you need to use your resume to drive the interview in terms of what questions will be coming. Even if a guesstimate is coming, it will come from one of your experience. So I think one of the guesstimates that came to me in while I was interviewing in IITG, it was around street lights in IIT Guwahati campus. It came through like my we were building this tricycle. We tested it at night, and that's how he reached to that particular question. Now you can't control each and every question, but you need to make an effort to drive the interview in your favor and to the topics that you are comfortable with through your resume. So whenever you are building your resume, you need to keep all these points in mind. And wherever you get a chance to plug any of these, take a chance, try to go through your resume again and again and somehow plug these in. So that will, in the end, make your resume shine out, because a lot of people will be applying, like a lot of your course mate will be applying to the same job. So you need to shine, your resume needs to come out. And if you demonstrate some of these or you highlight some of these through your resume, that will come out. So these should be the broad objectives of while you're building your resume for at least for PM roles. This is also true in general, but specifically for PM. Let's look at some of the pitfalls that you need to avoid. Since you're from a tech college, your resume should not present an overtly tech picture. Like a product manager is supposed to be a generalist. They are not supposed to be a specialist in technology. They need to know the technology. They're not supposed to be a specialist in technology. So if your resume is pointing out to, like, you have 3 research papers in one of the algorithms, if that is coming out through your resume, maybe you are passionate about technology and you are a deeply technical person, but that is not a good thing for a PM. Maybe you don't even fit in the PM role, because in a PM role you are supposed to keep your distance away from tech. You need to be close to the customer, not to the tech. That job solely lies with the engineering manager or the engineers in the organization. So this is a common pitfall in all the tech colleges, that sometimes the resumes are too technical. So just try to avoid that. And a resume stuck in past. Like if your resume has 2 projects of line following robot that flew like 10 years ago, uh, in today's world, those projects don't matter. So you have to have something related to LLMs. You have to have something related to uh, chatbots, something of AI that build some project in AI, not those old tech products, because that make keep your resume up to date and according to today's day and age. Again, specialist resume, it's just a repeat of first resume for like tech colleges, because PMs are expected to be generalist. So your resume should not present a unidimensional, present yourself as a unidimensional person. So if you are presenting everything from, let's say, academics, you're very good at academics, but you do curricular activities, never volunteered into anything, never participated uh, in a group activity or something, then your resume comes out as unidimensional. So you might be very good at tech, and that's a very good thing to be. But your resume needs to have a balanced approach. So try to get some points within extracurricular. Don't just avoid that section altogether. I hope it's going good, right? Can someone give me a thumbs up? Great. So, all right, I'll go ahead with the resume points. So I have noted down a few action items that you can take while building your resume. And I'd say this point structure is the most important. So up till now we have discussed what is a PM role, what skills needs to be demonstrated in your resume, what are some of the objectives of your resume, what pitfalls to avoid. Now let's discuss while making the resume, while writing down the points, what should you do? So uh, a point in a resume is generally structured like this. It will have 4 major parts. It'll start with a skill, then a power verb. I have examples about these, so that will make it clear. But it's generally a skill, power verb, subject, result. So let's take first example. If you want to demonstrate say teamwork. So you start now. This is optional. You can put teamwork as a specific word over there, or you can just leave it open for the reader to make out what skill you are highlighting. Generally, it's a good practice to put it somehow. Maybe if you have a bucket of skills that need to be highlighted, or bucket together. Something you do something, but you highlight that, hey, this is what I'm trying to showcase. So teamwork is the skill. Power work is led a team. So you have led a team, spearheaded, managed, liaison. All these are power verbs. Your point should start with the power verb. Led a team of 25 engineers in a national level. So then subject start. What were you doing? 25 engineers in a national level SAE competition, FE cycle, built a hybrid trike. It should end with the result. What is the result that you achieved? Okay, you were doing this, you did this, and what was the result that you achieved? So led a team, 25 engineers. Don't worry about English. Generally, resume points are not evaluated for English. So you need to have a lot of content in there. Start with the power verb, highlight either the power verb or the result. So I hope the structure that I wanted to showcase is coming out. I have another example. Let's say you want to highlight stakeholder management. Now, the power verb in this particular point is administered. So I administered Barak Hostel Mess 2 canteens as a mess secretary, ensured 24/7 availability of nutritious food for 600 hostelers. So this is the last part is ensured 24/7 availability. This is the result that I achieved. Every point needs to have a result that you have achieved. If it has numbers plus points, it should start with a skill and a power verb. Like that is generally the followed structure of a resume. You can make some changes. You might omit the skill part altogether. It's optional. But the power verb structure is mostly seen across all resumes. So you do that. I mean, ideally you should do that. Result you just can't avoid. You have to write a result. You can't just say that, hey, I was the mess secretary of Barak Hostel for this and this year. That point makes no sense. What did you do? What is the result that you achieved? For everyone, if someone is looking for hiring you in their company, they need to know that you are a result oriented person. You go behind the results, and if you are doing something, you have uh, some result in mind. So, and if that has numbers, please put in numbers. Numbers do make a difference. And when you are explaining these points in a resume, in an interview situation, there is a framework that generally people use. Star framework. It's like you describe the situation, you describe the task at hand, what action you took, and what were the results that were achieved. It makes this a bit longer, so it's not suitable for a resume point. But if you are explaining this particular situation, and if you do this, it helps the interviewer grasp what you are trying to say. Like like an interview is all about the other person trying to understand you. And if you make that job easy for the other person, they appreciate it. And it just, you just stand out. And if you're, and this also says that your mind is structured, you know how to explain things, you have good communication skills. So try to use this framework. It generally helps structure your mind. If you want to look at power verbs, I put in a link of power verbs. You can, so it's categorized. Just take a look at the link. Second action item that I want to highlight for a resume is get some numbers in. Numbers do make a difference. It doesn't matter like if those are impactful numbers, that's really good. But you can still get numbers for points that generally don't have numbers. Let's say I'll show you some examples. Like if you are somewhere in the management of Technique or Alchringa, mention the footfall. That's also a great number. Like you manage a cultural festival or a competition with, it's a good thing that at least you have some uh, some sense of how you gauge your success. If you secured some rank, put it like that. Tells the resume the reader that okay, you stood second out of 2500. If you stood second among five, that doesn't make a sense. This 2 over 2500, this point is generally used for like ranks and what position you stood in. If you are writing some point in your earlier experience and you reduced expense by X percent, instead of saying that I saved probably say 60K INR, write it in percentages. That makes a difference. If you were in one of the hostel management committees, your hostel GC ranking improved by 3 places. Put in three. Just don't say that we took this and we secured this place in say 2024. That doesn't make sense. Maybe last year you were first in a company and you secured this place in Guwahati. That doesn't make sense. How many people you topped. So these are some examples of like how you can use resume to you can use numbers to shine your resume, and a resume that has numbers just uh, it it says that this person is good with numbers, one, and they know how to measure their impact, and they are obsessed with numbers, so they are obsessed with results. So that is the picture that comes out, and that is what you want to go give through your resume. Uh, the third point I wanted to highlight specifically for a PM resume is like present a generalist picture. Reserve some slots for extracurriculars. If possible, add some volunteer work. Showcase your hobbies. If you have online presence, maybe through a portfolio, through an Instagram page that you manage, a community that you manage, showcase those. This just shows that, hey, you've done something more than studying. I'm sure you're all good at uh, like whichever branch you're studying, but if you present this generalist picture, it just tells the interviewer that hey, you've done more than study, and hence you stood out. So just try to make an effort to present a generalist picture. Having said that, showcase your prowess in studies. It's a myth that companies do not prefer people with high CGPA. They will always do, given that you also have something else to showcase. Uh, so please do put in whatever you achieved in academics. That is important. That does tell people that hey, you are a hard worker. You are clear in what your goal is. And with these, you have also done all the extracurriculars. You've had fun and all those things. So never compromise on that, but also put in other things. Then once you have made your resume, uh, make an effort to refine it with people. Like once you get into your resume, you write it 2 3 times. Sometimes your brain just becomes numb and you ignore the obvious mistakes. So put in effort and ask people to go through it. What Don't be shy that hey, what will others think? Use other people, use your friends, um, reach out to someone, ask people to read it and give you feedback. Like do this at least with 10 people, and after 2 3 iterations, your resume will be in a decent shape. Beyond that, if you want to do it, but it's not going to give you a lot of value. And then after a certain time, you'll just end up in circles. So don't overdo it, but also don't underdo it, and don't be shy about it. Like I know I was probably in your place 6 7 years 8 years ago. So and I was shy sharing my resume with people, but that was a mistake that I did. You should share your resume with people, and you should get their feedback. Uh, It'll help you gauge yourself. It will also maybe you'll get a fresh perspective. So do that. But in the end, take all the feedback, but remember that you are the best judge of your resume. So in the end, do whatever seems right to you. But listen to other people, listen to someone you think will give like a good feedback, or whoever you are in touch with for your resume, maybe your senior, maybe your friend. Do this exercise with them, but at the end of it, you are the sole decider. So decide whatever seems right to you. It is not a science. One size does not fit all. Your resume should be tailor made for you. So go through this process, but decide for yourself. So if we go over IIT's resume, I think you won't be able to do much in the education section. It is very standard. So fill in the details. In the experience section, I would say use the point format that we discussed. It does make a difference. Maybe if you have, let's say, 6 lines over here, bucket them into three lines. 3 lines for tech points and 3 lines for like managerial points. Something of that sort. Try to bucket it. Don't make it a wall of text, which is difficult to read. Give some structure to it. Maybe buckets, maybe use that skill bracket at the start. Do something, highlight certain things, put in numbers. So this is the most creative part where you can get, and this is where you can shine out. So use this. Projects should be relevant. Don't put in like those old projects. This will not help. It will just tell that you're not keeping up with the age. So put in some good projects, and over here also use the point format if possible. Put in some numbers. Technical skills, yeah, maybe if you're applying for PM roles, specifically for those companies, put in some communication skills, some research skill, A/B experimentation skills, all those whatever. Like go through PM skills that are needed. Put in some of those, and try and before going to your interview, read about them, because maybe questions will come from those. Key courses taken, I would say if you have taken something in HRM, I think during my time there was HRM, economics, all those humanities courses. You've done those, do put in here for the PM roles. That will help. PORs, achievements, yeah, I think these are pretty standard. Put in some numbers for PORs. You could use the footfall number. You could use uh, yeah, I mean, majorly footfall, or like if you handled a competition where 100 people participated, use that. Do something of that sort. Achievements also, put in some numbers, make it quantifiable. Yeah, next steps, I'll briefly go over it. I think we are on time. So once you have built your resume, get to know the product role in depth and get an answer for why product management. And this is very personal to you. You need to get it for yourself. You need to talk to people maybe who are in product management or who have recently joined. How did they approach this? Talk to 10 PMs in the industry. Ask them what does their day look like. You will understand what is the role of PM in every sort of organization, and then get an answer that is very personal to you. Prepare general questions along with like this is similar to what you're citing in your resume. There are general product questions like what will you do if there's a fight in the team? What will you do if there's a disagreement? All those things. Prepare them, and then for each of the answers that you give, keep an example from your experience or your past experience handy. Think about these examples beforehand. You should have 10 examples from your past experience, like tuck in your mind, so that whenever needed, you can bring those one out and showcase that, hey, once I was doing this and this happened and this is how I handled it. So take in that effort and come up with your own examples. Prepare for product design and similar questions. So there is a very famous circles framework, decode and conquer book. Prepare for product design questions. Those generally come in PM interviews. And then I cannot emphasize enough the importance of mock interviews. do give mock interviews with your friends. Make a group of 2 3 people. Take each other's interview. There are online interviews that are available on YouTube. Go through those. They also explain like what went good, what went wrong. So just go through those. Give mock interviews to like maybe your friends, anyone, and then use AI. I think I've been using ChatGPT to do a product teardown every week, and that has helped me structure my thought. So it's a good tool, and I think Perplexity is available for free with to everyone. So use Perplexity, do product teardowns, ask Perplexity like how will you answer this product question, and then personalize it for yourself. So use AI. Yeah, reach out if you need any help. That's obvious. Questions. How will this work? I don't know. But I think this is the content I had. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. So now our chat box is open for the question. The audience can ask the question in the chat box. So, sir, there is one question floating in the chat box currently. So the question is, do we have to make different two resume for different two target job profiles?
Mm, yeah, generally yes. Like you will not. Maybe a lot of things could be common, but if you're targeting a very tech specific role, you would put in probably some different projects uh, and different PORs. Not PORs, I would say. Projects could be different. Then your coursework could be different. What do you want to highlight from your like past internship experience? That could be different. So it's generally advised that you make two different resumes if you have enough points.
Okay, sir. Thanks for that. So any other question? Uh, mm, so, sir, if someone is applying for product roles and also non-product roles on this side, so should
Hmm.
they tailor their CV differently for the tech? Like the tech, I can add some other more tech projects for less PORs. So,
Yeah, I would say like even if you're applying for product roles itself, uh, to whatever role you're applying. I'm not sure how the system at ITG works or like what resume goes into whichever company you apply. I don't remember from my time, but it's generally advisable that you have these, like, say from your past experience, you have 10 points structured, whatever you want to highlight, and then you read the JD of whatever role that you're applying for. According to that JD, you pick up maybe 6 points and put in your resume. So it's generally advised that go through the JD, don't apply blindly, because people are particular about what they're asking, and if your resume is if you've taken the effort to align your resume to the JD, it shows. So do take in that effort. If you have done good preparation, invest some time in reading the JD and aligning your resume to it.
oh, okay. So the next question is, how can one best reflect product thinking on a CV if they don't have a formal product experience?
Uh, yeah. So great question, I think. Mm, and I would say like most of the people who will be applying through campus placement would not have product experience. But one example that comes to my mind is like this is how I did it. Maybe you can take some cues from that. So I was part of FE Cycle. I was part back in IIT Guwahati, I was doing all these automotive projects, and we were building this tricycle for FE Cycle. It was a competition, and over there we had a problem. Our chains were breaking, and we had in like a complex trainer system that was implemented. I was part of the transmission crew back then, and me with my like teammates, we came up with this approach of how to solve that, and I had put that in my resume. So it was that I knew what the problem was. I identified the problem. We solved it through an innovative approach, and I put that in my resume for I think every role, because that demonstrated that I can think critically about problems and I can solve problems. Now, if I can solve problem in, let's say, a trike, that is a transferable skill. I can also solve a business problem. Given enough information, I can also solve that. So use your like whatever experience you have. Think of what were the instances in that experience where you applied critical thinking, you came up with an innovative solution, and put that in your resume. That shows that if you are doing it here, you can also do it in whatever company that person is hiring for. So that is how you can use transferable skills to showcase that hey, you have ability to critically think, you have product thinking in place.
Oh, okay, sir. Thanks for that insightful answer. So the next question is, what are the some non-obvious experiences? Like the most common experiences for us is like club work, case competition, and campus fest. So what are the
Hmm.
other non-obvious experiences are that we can add in the product management CV?
Mm, if you've done some internship, that could be that could be the standout thing. Uh, Other non-obvious would be if you have done some volunteer work. Maybe through it could be through NSO or whatever organization we have for volunteering. If you have done some volunteer work, that does stand out. If you have taken up some freelance project, like these days, freelancing is pretty easily available for college students. So if you have done some sort of freelance, unpaid work, that could be something that makes your resume stand out. Uh, if you did something during your summer or winter break, that could be helpful. Bring that out. If you've done something during your school days, maybe 11th, 12th, that also helps. So bring that out. I think those could be standout. But even let's say if you are part of one of the college teams, sports teams, not everyone is there participating in sports. So put that in. That will also make it stand out.
Oh, okay. So there is a question from Rahul. Can you suggest me some project as some company want us to show in our resume some type of projects?
Uh, so these days, I think even as PMs, we are doing these projects. So especially after LLMs have come in, after ChatGPT has come in, I think there are projects around Explore LangChain. So it's an open source platform to build a AI agents. Do something of that sort. Uh, Build it is pretty easy. You can just use Python and build AI agents. So that is one good project work to showcase. If you can demonstrate that you've built some AI agent that has delivered some value, any value, maybe it was just scraping a website, but you know how to like build an agent, you know how agentic AI works. That is always a plus. Maybe use some of the new tools that have come up through AI. So there is Cursor for coders, there is Lovable for UI designers. use them, build something maybe for your own use, not for someone else. Like uh, couple of weeks ago, I was building an AI agent just to that will go ahead and scrape news for me, give me top highlights of the day, top news highlights of the day. It was just purely for me because I didn't want to spend time reading newspaper. So do something of that sort. That will be good. That will showcase that you are up to date with the changing world, and you know how agent API works. Do something with MCP. So yeah, those would be good additions.
Okay, thanks for that, sir. So the next question is, at times when courseworks are not sufficient, what can we add there?
Coursework. So maybe Coursera, Neptil.
Sarah?
There are a lot of specializations available in Coursera.
Yeah.
If you think that, uh, especially, I was also a mechanical engineer, so I could never showcase coursework from my regular classes to demonstrate that I know how to code. I used Coursera. Neptel
Okay.
was also available. It had very good courses. So get some certifications from there. Then there are free AI courses available. I'm sorry I'm using AI a lot, but I think you need to use that enough in your resume also. So maybe there are free AI courses available from ChatGPT, from OpenAI, everyone. Do those.
Uh, okay, sir. Thanks for that. So the moving to the another question. The question is, what are the things to keep in mind while not applying to on-campus placements?
I while not applying to on campus,
Yeah. He is asking the things to keep in mind while off campus.
off campus.
Yeah.
Off campus would be you don't need to stick to the resume format that ITG has provided. So use a resume format that works for you, and maybe create a online website or portfolio that could be helpful. Uh, like Wix allows website creation pretty easily. If you are if you are targeting design or even the product management roles. So product managers generally not all have a portfolio, but a lot of them do have a portfolio, especially like who is applying for an APM or entry level jobs. They do keep a portfolio in which they showcase that I've done this product tear down, let's say tear down of Facebook, tear down of ChatGPT, tear down of Perplexity. So you do those tear downs, you demonstrate that you know circles over there. Maybe you do a hypothetical design question and then put that case study in your portfolio. It will take some time to build that portfolio, but if you are primarily targeting product roles through off campus placement, maybe that's a good investment. That will demonstrate PM skills without you having real PM experience.
Um, oh, okay, sir. Thanks for that. The next question is, how is the product CV different from a consulting CV, or are they same?
So uh, I think they are a bit different. Consulting in consulting, so in product, as I was saying, everything like the expectation from a product manager is that you start with the user, identify the problem, build roadmap, and then execute those. So it's not just doing research, identifying things, identifying opportunities. You are also working with people, working with stakeholders to deliver value. And then once value has been delivered, you have the KPIs to monitor it, and then you refine it. That is how a PM role looks like. Consulting is slightly orthogonal to this. In consulting, you come like I am assuming this is traditional management consulting role that is asking, or he or she is asking for. Uh, in a management consulting role, what you do is you come to a company as an outsider, you do your research, you identify problems, and then you leave it at that. So the skills that you need to highlight are your research skills, not your execution skills. Whereas in a PM resume or a PM interview also, you need to highlight stakeholder management. You need to highlight these real execution skills, and you need to say that I've delivered value. I've not just done research and identified problems, which is the main job of a consultant. But in PM, you need to have that extra focus on execution. That is my assumption. I've not built a consulting resume per se. I think there's another session lined up, so maybe it's a good question for that. Like how does a consulting resume works? But this is my sense that the execution part is what differs for a PM from a consultant. You both are working on a business, you are both are identifying problems, but in a consulting profile, you're not executing on it.
Okay, sir. Thanks for that. It's my genuine question. So the next question is how to decide the number of projects and how to trade off between the other sections of the CV, like internships.
Hmm. So, like I said, yeah, there's no science to it, and there will be no one size fits all. If you have some out of the box projects and not so good internship, maybe projects take up a lot of space. But if you have a star intern and your projects are decent, you use most space in your internship. So that really depends on like what sort of points you have in each of the sections and what can you highlight. Let's say you have 2 points in your internship or 4 points in your internship that all highlight PM skills. So for a product manager resume, you put all those 4 points and maybe just 2 lines in your project section. So it depends. I would say don't completely skip things like extracurricular and volunteer work and POR because that just gives your resume a holistic picture. But apart from that, how much lines to consume in each one of those special like it will depend totally on person to person. Whatever points you have in each of the section and how much do you think is each of those points is like what is the impact of each of those points? It depends on that. If you have impact wherever you have impactful points, that section should take most of the space.
Okay, sir. That's all the question. Thank you for that. So the questions are ended. So is there
Hmm.
anything you want to add in the end?
Nothing here. It was good interacting with you all. I think yeah. There is some time in the placement start. I think yeah. It's happening in December, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Prepare your resume well. Once your resume is done, I think uh, focus on preparing for interviews, and especially if like you're preparing for product roles, do keep in mind that uh, there are 3 4 sections that you need to think about. I think one of my last slides pointed out to that. So prepare for all those types of questions. Keep yourself updated on what is happening in the tech world because a lot is happening and it's difficult to keep track of that. But in interviews, you are expected to know a lot of things of what, like at least the current affairs of tech world. So keep keep out, read newspapers, be aware of things. And yeah, if you need any help on product interviews, do reach out.
Uh, Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. On behalf of Consulting and Analytics Club, I would like to thank you for sharing the expertise on product CV building. Your talk offered a perfect blend on actionable tips, which will help everyone for their placement and internship in the future. So we look forward with you to have a session in the future. Thank you once again.
Thanks, Nikunj. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Okay.